constantly being blamed for things. This is something that can really get you. As humans, we're in unconscious programmings. This is how we work, especially from the first part of our lives that we've labeled childhood. We have many experiences that stick us in unconscious programmings. Now, this doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just this is how we work. Those unconscious programmings can be going towards something desirable or undesirable. And because humanity is not in a place where we understand ourselves emotionally very well yet, collectively, a lot of the unconscious patterns and behaviors that we have as adults come from unhealthy ways of being towards each other throughout our childhood. One of these unhealthy behaviors comes from blaming, everyone blaming each other. Everyone's in a zero-sum game. We learn through our childhood that everyone's actually out for themselves, so this is what I need to be like as well. We have behavioral conditioning being passed down through the generations. So what I'm learning is what my mum learned, and what her mum learned, and what her, and keep going. In the moments where a child may do something that is deemed as not desirable, as an attempt for the caregiver to get them back on track to doing what they want to do, this usually comes in a form of punishment. Now, this punishment is very unsafe for a child. And usually what happens is the accompanied explanation or understanding of that punishment comes with reasoning. And the reasoning that we get from our caregivers usually is, if you didn't do that, then this bad thing wouldn't happen. If you didn't behave that certain way, then this bad thing wouldn't be happening. Even in the moments where they don't necessarily say that, this is what we're understanding. I did something that was not okay, therefore the reason I am somewhat unsafe right now is because of me. So a lot of the blame is being placed on me for being unsafe. This happens many times throughout my childhood. I even see this happening to siblings and other people as well. If I'm learning that the reason unsafety is my fault, every time I am blamed, it takes me to going to being unsafe. So now I've learned being blamed is unsafe. It doesn't matter what I'm blamed for. Being blamed takes me to unsafety. This is an unconscious pattern and behavior as an adult. Now, this doesn't only apply to really big things, because what I've learned is that being blamed is unsafe. So it could be anything. It could be a pencil falling off the table and someone will blame me for it. And in that moment, I will feel the trigger of unsafety. The wounds that I got from childhood will be triggered in that moment, even though it was something as small as a pencil falling off the table. Now, because I have learned that being blamed is unsafe, what I will do is I will try anything and everything for it not to be my fault, so I don't get blamed, because that's very unsafe. So even something as small as a pencil falling off a table, I will argue that fact. Unconsciously, I'm feeling the fear from within, from those wounds. And the only way that I know how to calm that part of myself down is by justifying how that is not my fault, so that I am not blamed. So as an adult, an interaction of me knocking the pencil off the table and then someone saying that that's my fault may make me react in a certain way where I would argue that fact. Someone might look at that and go, why are you being like that? It's only a pencil, like calm down. Why can you never take fault? Why can't you just accept something? Because I've learned being blamed is extremely unsafe. But this is just one example. Another example is, if I'm continuously around people that always talk about the past, always talk about how things could have turned out, the reason why things are the way they are today is because this happened in the past and that happened and you did this. There's a lot of blame being placed on me because of how things have turned out today. In that moment, I will try to do anything that I can to fix or resolve the undesirable outcome that has manifested today. This can look something like, this person has turned out the way they have because you didn't give them enough attention when they were a child. So in that moment, you're being blamed for the outcome that is today. And it's very understandable that you will go into an unconscious pattern of trying to resolve and fix that issue. So that may look like I will go towards that person and try and resolve their problems, try and fix their issues. And the reason why I can't let that go and I have to constantly keep going, and I'm constantly worried about it, I'm constantly concerned about it, it's constantly in my mind. A big chunk of that reason is because I'm being blamed for the outcome. So that unsafety that I feel from within, the fear that I have inside whenever something happens that's bad, it's either myself blaming myself for it or someone else blaming me for it. And I've learned that blame is unsafe. And there is no moment in the day where I don't think about it, where I don't worry about it, where I'm not concerned about the outcome, trying to think of how to resolve this. And it's very understandable that this can get very tiring. And if I was completely honest with myself, I'm so tired of being concerned about other people, about other things. And the reason why I can't just snap out of it and just stop it is because at the core of the reason why is because I am continuously being blamed for it, either by other people or by myself. And blame has always caused me to be extremely unsafe. There is nothing wrong with getting things wrong. It's a very big part of learning for a human being, even if it's to do with someone else. But if we live in a society, in an environment where everyone around us is playing a zero-sum game and they're all out for themselves, which is what's happening, then it's going to be very hard to just be okay with getting things wrong. But you can work towards that. You can give these parts of yourself the attention that they need, meet the needs that they have. This is a super challenging journey. Keep going. You're doing great.